Welcome to the Gap Counting Training DVD. Your assignment is to count how many products are unavailable in the store you've been assigned, or gaps. It's important you're watching the entire video so you can undertake your assignment correctly. Before you get to your assigned store, it's important that you take note of the following. You must wear business dress. You must undertake this assignment alone. You must print and take your letter of authorisation and your address confirmation and gap verification form. These will have been sent to you. You must arrive at the store in plenty of time to undertake your assignment on the date and time stated on your paperwork. Upon arrival at the store, it's important that you make yourself known to the duty manager and show them your letter of authorisation. They'll then ask you to sign in. Once that process is complete, you should then show the duty manager your address confirmation and gap verification form. The duty manager will confirm you're in the correct location, and they must provide you with their submitted gap count for the day for ambient, fresh and promotional gaps. To undertake this assignment, you'll be using a small handheld scanner like this with two buttons, A and B. To scan a barcode, you would simply take the scanner, pressing button A while pointing it at the appropriate shelf edge ticket at the barcode. You'll see a red beam of light and hear a high-pitched bleep. That means the product's been registered. To do this, you may need to move the scanner closer or further away from the shelf edge ticket, but once you hear the bleep, you can be assured that the product has registered. Now you're ready to start. If the store you've been assigned to has products for sale outside of the store, the gap count will start there. If not, you'll start inside the store. Be aware, in many cases, stores will have freezer cabinets like this, selling impulse ice creams just inside the door. It's important you don't miss these, as these are included in the gap count. Okay, so what is a gap? Well, essentially what we're looking for is a space on the shelf where below it there's a shelf edge ticket, a barcode, but no associated product above it. So in practice that might look like this. If we were at this shelf, we would see a barcode ticket and a product. We'd then see a barcode ticket but no associated product. This is a gap. We'd then take the barcode scanner, point it at the associated barcode, pressing button A, listen for the bleep. At that stage, the gap has been counted. Okay, now we've shown you what a gap is and how to count a gap, it's important that you move around the store in a methodical way so you don't miss any gaps on the shelves. It's also important that you watch the next section of the DVD very carefully, because we're going to show you some techniques that you will need to employ to ensure your gap count runs as smoothly as possible. Okay, the first issue we're going to talk around is where there's a gap on the shelf but the barcode has been obscured in some way. So for example, if we came across a situation like this, where there's a gap on the shelf, no associated product, but I can't see the barcode, it's been obscured by a promotional label. In this case, we would lift the label, take the barcode scanner, pressing button A, listen for the bleep, the gap has been registered. When you're scanning your gaps, it's important that you check right to the back of the shelf to ensure products aren't hidden from view. For example, it looks like there's a gap here, but actually if we need to bend down to look right to the back of the shelf to actually find out there is an associated product, this is not a gap. We may come across a situation such as this, where at first glance it appears there is a gap on the shelf. However, on closer inspection, we can see that the product was supposed to be double-faced. Essentially what we mean is that there was two rows of the same product with one associated barcode, such as here. Two rows of tuna, one associated barcode. Here, it just happens that the second row of this particular brand of tuna has sold out. However, this is not a gap. This product is still available for the customer to purchase. You may come across a situation where you've identified an obvious gap on the shelf, such as this, but as much as you try, the barcode just won't scan. Moving it in and out, it just won't scan. In this situation, we still need to count this gap, but we do this through using the verification form. As you can see on the form, there are 3 barcodes listed: ambient unscannable, scratch cards and fresh unscannable. What we need to do is identify which category the product or the barcode you're trying to scan falls into. In this case, cereal falls into the ambient category. So we take the barcode, as this one won't scan on the shelf, we scan it off the paperwork. That means the gap's still registered. This same technique can be used where you come across situations like this, where you've got a promotional ticket, clearly there's a gap on the shelf, you lift the ticket, but actually there is no associated barcode. We know because there's a promotional ticket there should be a product behind. This is not double-faced, but we have no barcode to scan. So again, in this case, we take the verification form. This would be an ambient product again. We'd scan that. The gap is registered. Many of the produce items in the store will have a ticket below them such as this, where there's no associated barcode on the ticket, so there's nothing to scan. So, if you come across a gap such as this on the shelf, no product, there is a ticket, but there's no barcode, you'll then have to use the verification form again. There is a barcode here that says fresh unscannable. That's the one you should scan with your barcode scanner. Listen for the bleep. The gap is registered. The store kiosk such as this also forms part of the gap count. Obviously this is a busy part of the store, so it's important to spend as little time here as possible. The best strategy is to stand back from the kiosk to look for the gaps, then seek permission of the duty manager to go behind the counter and scan the gaps, but be as quick and efficient as you can be. Scratch cards also form part of the gap count. So in this case, they do not have an associated barcode. You count the amount of gaps, in this case 1, go to your verification form, there is a barcode for scratch cards, we'd scan it once. Had there been 2 gaps on the shelf, we'd have scanned it twice. If you are approached by a member of the public, a customer, while you're undertaking your gap count, be courteous, but direct them to a member of the store staff to help them. You may come across a situation where you scan a barcode in error, thinking it was a gap, but then realising after you've scanned it that it shouldn't be a gap. What you would do in this situation, for example, if I'd scanned this gap, realised that actually it's just double-faced, I shouldn't have scanned that barcode, we can use button B on the handheld scanner, point it back at the appropriate barcode, a lower pitch beep is heard, and that means the last record has been deleted. Staff may be filling the shelves in front of you before you get to the gaps, which is perfectly fine. However, do not feel obliged to change anything with your gap count if they're filling up the shelves behind you. Clip strips, such as this, are included in the gap count. It's important to pay attention and look out for them because they're easily missed. It's important to note that some items are to be excluded from your gap count, and these include newspapers, magazines, flowers, greeting cards, gift wrap, dump bins, supplier displays. These tend to be cardboard, non-permanent fixtures. Deli counters and any hot food is also to be excluded from your gap count. OK, once you've completed your gap count, it's important that you find the duty manager and thank him or her and sign out. We hope you've enjoyed this DVD and it's been very useful, but please remember to read all the paperwork you've been provided with before you go to do your gap count and take it with you as a reference. Good luck and enjoy your assignment.